Okay, it's on.
Alright, the very first thing that we talked about was taking the rib. Leaving the feet here and isolating just the rib so that now the rib is poking out and the rib is poking out. So we're using the rib and the rib. Then we talked about taking the lats. First we talked about getting them here, slightly rotating the body and allowing everything to move that needs to move, at least from the waist up. Then we talked about putting the lat in and pushing the rib out. Put the lat in and push the rib out. So now I'm going back and forth, and instead of doing the big motions, exaggerate it for now, and then slowly get to where you're not doing the going up part. That it's going back and down, back and down. Now when I say back and down, I do not want you to, and if you can zoom in on my shoulder blades, I never want your shoulder blades to be pinched like this.
Okay.
They never need to be pinched. If I engage both my lats, they're back and they're down, but my back is not pinched. I want it to be nice and relaxed. So we have our lat in, our rib. Then we have the rotating back of the hip, allowing the foot to slightly rotate as that hip goes back. Then there is the lift. So we have the lift. Now we have the entire stance. I'm going to do it again. So I engage the lat. I push the rib. I start to rotate the hip around. And I lift. So now I'm here. I have to get out. I start to release the left lat and engage the right lat. As I start, I can't go anymore because my hip won't allow it. So I release the hip, which allows this to completely rotate around, and my rib is now being pushed out, my lat is engaged, my hip is rotated. Now I'm going to step to the side, and now I'm already in the position that I need to be in. Now I'm going to lift that hip to finish that rotation. In the very beginning, before we did all of that, we talked a little bit about posture. So when I do my posture, I want to think about taking everything and pulling it up so that I have a nice straight spine. I'm going to take my bottom and slightly tilt my pelvis over it. Suck in slightly, but it's more tension on your stomach. You want to use your ab muscles. So now that I'm standing here, now I'm going to start doing all of these other things by allowing my body to let the hips follow the upper body, keeping everything tilted underneath, posture good, and then the body will go first, the hips will follow behind. As the hip gets to the end, I'm already starting to rotate and allowing the hip to follow. Allow the hip to follow. Allow the hip to follow. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Anything else we got to put on? You can think of? Ready?
Yes. Okay.
Alright, so let me get into, I'm in this position.
The count, yeah.
When I release, this is the 4. My upper body goes with the 4. My lower body is the 1. Or if I'm doing it forward, such as a rock step, I'm going to do my upper body is the 2, my lower body is the up. So I allow that to come around, but my upper body has already started pulling away. For 3, but my lower body is still forward. My lower body does the up. So anytime that I step, it's a travel, body, travel, body, and I'm trying to over-exaggerate by stepping like this.
Right.
You wouldn't step bent over like this, but I
Right.
want to, so if I'm gonna do it with all the posture up, and I'm here, I'm stepping 4, now I let that 1, 2, 3, now I'm gonna do it 2, up, 3, up.
And what's the difference when you were doing it before? Was that just a side to side, like
Yeah,
if you're in place and the lady is traveling?
anytime, it doesn't matter whether you do it forwards or backwards.
Okay.
Or sideways or forwards or backwards, it's still the same.
Okay.
So if I was to step to my 4 here, I would still do the bottom half as my 1.
Okay.
If I step forward here, 4, I'm going to do my bottom half, here's my 4, here's my 1.
The bottom half is still
The bottom half is
it's still
always
the 1.
going to be either the 1
Or the 3.
or the up.
Or the 3 up.